In the heart of a blistering desert, where the sun beats down with unrelenting fury and the winds stir endless dunes of sand, a group of determined men and women are about to do the impossible. Bound by a common dream and a shared struggle, they will defy nature's harshest forces and push the limits of human strength to raise a monument that will stand the test of time. This is no ordinary feat of engineering. It's a battle against gravity, against the elements, and against the very sands that seek to swallow their efforts. Can they succeed? Or will the unforgiving desert reclaim what it cannot destroy? The desert air shimmered with a golden haze, an almost tangible veil of heat that clung to the earth. The sands stretched endlessly, an undulating sea of dunes that seemed to ripple beneath the relentless gaze of the sun. At the heart of this harsh and unforgiving landscape, a scene of intense activity unfolded, a testament to human ambition and resilience. Rising above the sands like a beacon of purpose was a massive limestone block, smooth and pale as moonlight, lying at rest but ready for its ascent. Around it swarmed a hive of workers, men and women, who toiled under the punishing heat, their bodies bronzed and sinewy from years of labor. This was no ordinary construction site. It was a theater of history in the making. The block was destined to become a part of something far greater than itself, a monument that would transcend time, standing as a symbol of power, faith, and human ingenuity. Every movement around it, every pull of a rope, every swing of a hammer, carried with it the weight of that purpose. The towering ramp before them rose sharply, its surface a patchwork of timber beams and tightly bound fibers. It was an imposing structure, defying the desert's hostility, its very existence a testament to the skill and determination of those who built it. But it was also treacherous, its steep incline a challenge even for the seasoned workers who now stood ready to begin the arduous task of hauling the stone to its destined place. The colossal limestone block, a monolith of impossible weight and grandeur, began to shift as the ropes tightened and muscles strained. A deep groan echoed from the stone, resonating through the hot, dry air like a low rumble of distant thunder. Around it, the workers moved with practiced precision, their bodies forming a living machine powered by sheer will and strength. Each pull on the ropes brought with it a collective grunt of effort, their voices blend to a rhythmic symphony of human determination. Sweat glistened on their skin, streaking through the dust and sand that clung to their bodies. The air was thick with the smell of sweat, sun-warmed wood, and the faint metallic tang of tools striking stone. The ramp loomed ahead, its steep incline a daunting challenge that tested the limits of both human ingenuity and endurance. The planks creaked and groaned underfoot, their joints bound tightly by ropes that strained against the weight of the block. The overseer, a wiry man with sharp, calculating eyes, prowled the edges of the scene like a hawk. His voice cut through the noise, barking commands with the authority of someone who understood that one mistake could mean disaster. Tighten those ropes. Keep the tension steady. You there, watch the left side. His words kept the workers focused, their hands gripping the ropes tighter as they pulled in unison. Every detail mattered. The angle of the block, the alignment an option. Too much was at stake. The workers knew this well, and their movements reflected the gravity of their task. They worked not just with their bodies, but with their minds, each person deeply attuned to the rhythm of the others. The block inched forward, its massive bulk defying gravity as it began to ascend the ramp. The ropes groaned under the strain, the fibers stretched taut like the strings of an instrument, vibrating with the effort of dozens of hands pulling in perfect synchronization. The giant man, standing at the base of the block, acted as both anchor and guide. His immense strength bore much of the initial weight, allowing the ropes to gain traction and the block to find its balance. He shifted his stance slightly, digging his feet into the loose sand to steady himself. His deep voice, calm and steady despite the enormity of the task, rang out over the chants of the workers. "Hold steady. We've got this. Don't let up." The words carried a weight of their own, instilling confidence in those who heard them. Among the workers, a young boy struggled with a rope nearly as thick as his arm. His face, streaked with sweat and sand, was a mask of determination, but his small frame trembled with the effort. The giant noticed him and, with a quick motion, reached out to steady the rope. "Keep your grip, lad," he said, his voice kind but firm. "You're stronger than you think." The boy nodded, his resolve hardening as he redoubled his efforts. Around him, the workers chanted louder, their collective strength propelling the block higher. The ramp groaned in protest, its wooden beams bowing slightly under the immense weight, but it held firm. The design was flawless, a testament to the engineers who had envisioned this very moment. As the block reached the midpoint of the ramp, a gust of wind swept through the site, sending sand swirling into the air. The workers squinted against the stinging grains, their grip on the ropes never faltering. The overseer barked another command, his sharp eyes scanning the ramp for any signs of weakness. "Check those beams. If they give way, we all go with it." The wind died down, and the workers pressed the unstoppable machine. The block's ascent continued, slow and steady, every inch gained a victory against the odds. The final stretch was within sight. The giant's muscles burned with exertion, yet his focus never wavered. With every step of the block's ascent, the weight of the task seemed to grow heavier, but so did the resolve of the workers. They knew that this was the culmination of their efforts, the moment that would define their legacy. The ramp, though creaking under pressure, had carried the load this far, and it would carry it all the way to the top. The giant took a deep breath, feeling the heat of the sun on his back, the sand beneath his feet, and the tension in the air. His arms, aching and covered in sweat, tightened around the ropes one last time. "Almost there," the overseer shouted, his voice full of hope. "Give it everything you have." Together, the workers gave one final tremendous pull. The block moved upward in a decisive lurch, and with a collective grunt, it reached the top of the ramp. A cheer erupted from the workers, their faces alight with exhaustion and triumph. The giant released the rope and stood tall, his chest heaving as he surveyed the scene. The monument was nearly complete. The block settled into place with a heavy thud, its journey finally finished. The workers stood, breathing heavily, their bodies spent, but their spirits soaring. The sun began to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows over the site. In the fading light, the monument began to take shape, each stone a testament to the strength, unity, and sacrifice of those who had brought it to life. The giant looked around at his team across the site. "This is our legacy." And as the last light of day faded from the desert, the monument stood silent but steadfast. A monument not just to stone and mortar, but to the human spirit that had raised it against the sands of time. In the heart of a blistering desert, where the sun beats down with unrelenting fury and the winds stir